dear students, in last lecture we have discussed about the standard lead count and how this method is used to determine the biological quality of drinking water. So in this lecture we will discuss about the MPM, that is also called as most probable number method. It is another method to use to determine the fecal or non-fecal coliforms which are may be present in the drinking water, or for determining the sanitary quality of drinking water we use that method. So here this method is devised to detect the presence or absence of coliform in water sample. By using this method we can determine whether coliform organisms which are found in that particular water sample, whether it is from the fecal origin or non-fecal origin. So in the method, different selective and differential media are used. The test is carried out in 3 successive steps. Here, different selective and different differential media are used. Here, in case of selective, it goes only particular type of organism. That media is called as a selective media. And differential, here on the basis of whether they are lactose fermenting or not, we are differentiating that particular organism. So this type of media are used in this method, and that MPM method, that is most probable method, is carried out in 3 different steps, that is presumptive test, confirmatory test and completed test. So here serial dilution method is also carried out. In this way, what is meant by presumptive test? It is the first step which is carried out with the most probable number count. When we have collected the water sample from particular water sample, you have to mix the bottle of water to be tested 25 times. That is, you have to properly mix that water sample so that a representative sample of that particular water is inoculated. Inoculate 5 double strength lactose broth or lauryl fructose broth and 5 double strength lactose broth with 10 ml. 5 single strength tube with 1 ml and 5 single strength tube with 0.1 ml of water sample respectively. Here, while carried out your presumptive test, you have to firstly collect the particular water sample from that source which you have to determine the biological quality of that water. So before collecting the water sample, your laboratory preparation you have carried out. That is, you have to prepare at least 15 cubes of broth media. That is, either you use lactose broth or lauryl fructose broth. Here, double strength and single strength media is used. Double strength, here you have to just double that concentration. Suppose 1 gram of lactose broth is used to prepare 100 ml of media, so you have to double the concentration. That means you have to add 2 gram of particular media in 100 ml of water. So that becomes a double strength lactose broth. As you are doubling your concentration of media, because you are inoculating 100 ml of water sample to particular media. As the number of organisms may be present in that water sample are more, so for their survival you require concentration of media in more amount. So here you have to prepare 5 tube which contain double strength lactose broth, 5 tube which contain single strength lactose broth, and another 5 tube which contain another single strength lactose broth. In first double strength lactose broth tube, you have to inoculate 10 ml of representative water sample which you have collected previously. In next 5 tube, that is single strength broth, you have to inoculate 1 ml of water sample, and in another 5 tube you have to inoculate 0.1 ml of water sample. All these processes are carried out in aseptic condition. For inoculation, you have to use sterile graduated pipette, so that proper aseptic condition you have to maintain, so that unwanted entry of different microorganisms you should be avoided. Okay. After inoculation, incubate the tube for 24 to 48 hours at 35 or 37 degrees Celsius. After 24 hours, you have to check that particular tube whether it is that or taste is positive by means of gas formation or acid and gas formation. The presence of gas in any tube is positive test. The absence of gas after 48 hours is negative test, and the source other than intestinal tract. When you have inoculated particular 3 sets of tube by 10 ml of water sample, 5 ml of water sample, and 1 ml of water sample, 10 ml of water sample, 1 ml of water sample, and 0.1 ml of water sample. After incubation, after 24 hours, out of 15 tubes, those tubes which shows acid and gas formation, acid means of yellow color, and gas formation, that is inside the Dulance tube, you can observe a bubble formation. So after 24 hours, if out of 15 you can observe in how many tubes that result are positive, you have to note down. Again, if there is no result you have observed, you can incubate your tube for further 24 hours. After 48 hours, all these tubes which shows gas formation, they are considered to be the positive tube for the presumptive test. And those tubes which didn't show gas formation, that tube are called as a negative tube. Here sometimes acid formation is observed and gas formation cannot be found, or sometimes false positive report can be observed. So here you have to strictly follow the tube which shows gas formation, you have to consider as that tube are positive for the presumptive test. Out of 15 tube which tubes shows gas formation, you have to note down that particular number. From double strand, how many tubes gives positive result? From single strand, how many tubes give positive result? You have to note down your notebook. Further, next step is confirmatory test. So here, from the tube having highest dilution and shows gas production, transfer one loopful of culture to the BGLB broth or brilliant green lactose bile broth. In another step, from the positive tube where acid and gas formation you have observed, you have to inoculate from the higher concentration particular that tube to BGLB broth medium. Here again in liquid medium, and which contain brilliant green, lactose and bile salt. Brilliant green is nothing but the pH indicator, lactose is nothing but sugar, and bile salt which inhibit the particular different types of organism, that is gram positive type of organism, and in the presence of bile salt only intestinal pathogen can survive, as we have to determine the fecal coliform. So here selective media you have to use only which allow the growth of only enteric pathogens, and incubate this tube for 48 hours. Okay, either 24 hours, if that tube gives positive report, you have to consider as a positive, or if you didn't observe any type of positive report after 48 hours, you consider that as a negative result. The formation of gas at any time within 48 hours constitutes a positive confirmatory test. After inoculation of positive sample which are positive for the presumptive tube, you have to inoculate that particular water sample into BGLB broth medium from that particular tube. Here, after 48 hours of incubation, if there is a gas formation in that tube, you can consider that tube as a positive tube for the positive test for the confirmatory test. Here, in case of BGLB broth, only the which allow the growth of the enteric pathogen. It is nothing but a diagrammatic representation of presumptive and confirmatory test. Here you have to collect particular water samples. You have to prepare 3 sets of test tube. It contains double strand lactose broth, single strand and single strand lactose broth. In white color you can observe a Dulance tube which is inwardly inserted in the tube. After addition of water sample, here you have to inoculate 10 ml of water sample, 1 ml of water sample and 0.1 ml of water sample. As amount of water sample inoculated is more, that means number of organisms present in that tube are more. And that's why you have to use double strand lactose broth. After 24 or 48 hours of incubation, you have to observe for the gas formation. Gas formation is recognized by the formation of bubble inside this Dulance tube. Those tubes gives a positive gas formation result. They are considered as a positive for the presumptive test. Here, after incubation of 24 hours, you can observe yellow color, that is acid formation with gas formation. Okay, here that tube becomes a transparent, that considered as a positive for acid and gas formation. That means all these 5 tubes are given 5 presumptive test positive. In another case, only these 2 tubes, that is you show yellow color, that is acid formation, and transparent Durance tube, that is gas formation, considered to be the 2 tests are or 2 tubes are positive for the presumptive tube. And here in third concentration as 0.1 ml of water sample you have inoculated, probably the results are negative. So there is no acid formation and gas formation. So all these tubes, that 5, 3, 8, all considered as a negative tube, while these 7 tubes are considered for the positive for the presumptive test. After this recording this result, you have to inoculate particular loop-2 culture to confirmatory test, where you have used BGLB broth, that is Brilliant Greek Lactose Bile broth. It looks like a green color type of media. Here you have also inwardly inserted Durance tube, so that you can determine formation of gas inside the tube. After inoculation of tube, if that gas formation is observed within 24 hours of incubation, you can consider that tube or the test is positive for that particular test, that is confirmatory test. So it is nothing but a presumptive test and confirmatory test. In third step, that is confirmatory test, here you have to inoculate the positive sample from the BGLB broth which are used in the confirmatory test on EMB agar plate, that is solid media. Streak a loop-full culture from the positive BGLB tube on EMB agar plate. Invert and incubate at 35 degrees Celsius for 24 to 48 hours. On EMB agar, coli and aerogens organism produce characteristic colonies. That you have inoculated and you have recorded your result for presumptive and confirmatory test. You have to inoculate the positive sample from the confirmatory test completed use on the EMB agar to confirm whether that organism is confirmed from intestine from human or animal origin. On the basis of fecal and non-fecal coliform, you have to distinguish. After inoculation of EMB agar, as EMB agar again it only it prevents the growth of gram-positive organism and allow the growth of only gram-negative organism. Here only the enteric pathogens we can survive on that particular media. On EMB agar, organisms which are from fecal and non-fecal coliform, they show a characteristics growth, as their characteristics growth are differentiated on the basis of their colony characteristics. Here fecal coliform, the representative organism of that fecal coliform, that is E. coli, it shows a typical colonies which are small, dark center and greenish metallic sheen type of colonies. Okay, as they are, the EMB agar contain the lactose. If the organism has a lactose fermentation ability, that colonies normally grow on that particular media, and what happens, that colony becomes dark center and greenish metallic sheen you can observe for E. coli type of culture or E. coli type of organism. That means if E. coli is present at particular water sample, it shows greenish metallic sheen type of colony with small shape and dark center colonies. Okay. In case of non-fecal coliform, apart from that, if another source of organism is present in that water sample, it produces atypical colonies that are large size of colony, pink or colorless colony, as they are non-lactose fermenting, non-nucleated without greenish metallic sheet. As they are non-lactose fermenting, so their colonies become either pinky color or colorless type of colony, and these are the characteristics for fecal coliform and non-fecal coliform. So on the basis of growth pattern, you can distinguish between fecal coliform and non-fecal coliform by using this particular type of media. Here in this diagram, you can observe it is nothing a plate of EMB agar, ethylene blue agar, ethylene blue bile salt agar. Here, if the organism is from fecal contamination, that organism shows characteristics growth, that is metallic sheen we can observe and dark center colonies. It is a typical characteristics of E. coli on EMB agar plate. Here in another plate, you can observe a pinkish or colorless colony, large colony, and this is nothing but a characteristics of non-fecal interogen type of organism. So if you can observe metallic sheen type of colony, you can confirm that organism is nothing but E. coli and it is from the fecal origin. And if you have observed that particular type of colony, you can say that organism, though it was a fecal coliform, but though it was coliform, but it's from the non-fecal source of origin. Presence of typical as well as atypical colonies constitute a positive completed text. As typical and non-typical colonies, you can observe after 24 hours of incubation. You can observe on the list of colonies. You can distinguish between fecal and non-fecal coliform. After that, you have now well separated isolated colonies of particular organism. So typical colonies are now selected preferably, while in absence a atypical colonies are selected from A and B clade and inoculated into lactose broth to confirm that coliform produce gas and on agar's land negative non-sporiting bacilli. After the confirmatory test, for further confirmation, you have to only stick that particular isolated colony from the particular nuclear plate and inoculated into lactose broth, so that you are reconfirming that that organism is lactose fermenting and it produces gas from that particular media, and you can consider that tube or that organism is confirmatory a fecal origin type of organism. And when you stain that particular organism, it shows gram-negative type of colony, non-sporulity. These are nothing but morphological characteristics you can observe, and you can confirm that organism is from the fecal source of contamination. Fermentation of lactose broth and demonstration of gram-negative non-sporulity bacilli constitute a positive complementary test. Here, your MPN nature is now completed on the basis of that you have observed that report that organism you have stained, that is gram-negative non-sporulity bacilli, that is short rock, constitute a positive completed test. For separation of coliform into fecal and non-fecal coliform organisms, the combination of unit tests are performed. Here we have already selected a particular differentiating and selective media, so that on that basis you can probably distinguish between fecal and non-fecal coliform organism. Apart from that, if you have to confirm that organism is confirmed, whether it is E. coli or introductory erosion, you can further carry out different processes like in-vitro classification, that is indol, MRVP, indol test, methyl red test, Rogers prospect test, and cyclic differentiation test, as we have discussed in earlier session. E. coli, it gives positive, negative result for immune classification, while introductory erosion gives negative, positive result for in-vitro classification. On that basis, you can clearly distinguish between fecal and non-fecal coliform group of organisms. So, presence of fecal coliform organism in water sample shows evidence of fecal pollution, indicating that intestinal pathogenic microorganisms may be present in the water sample, or that water sample is contaminated with the fecal contamination, so that water sample, the water source is not safe for drinking purpose. That water is considered as a non-potable water. So it is all about the most probable number count or MPN method. Here, number of organisms which are present in that water sample, you have to estimate most probable number which are present in the form of viable count in the water sample. The MPN can be estimated by the Thomas formula as MPN per 100 ml equal to number of positive tube into 100 ml divided by under root ml of sample in negative tube into ml of sample in all tube. All this formula you have to use for the MPN count. Here nothing but a number of positive tube which we have recorded previously for present tube test. You have to place here into 100 divided by ml of sample in negative samples, how much amount of water sample you have inoculated, and that counted in the negative tube into ml of sample in all tube. So all these total sample you have inoculated, you have to count it 55 and 55.5 total of water sample you can inoculate here. For double chain and single chain of water sample, you have to count respect to your negative report. Negative test you have to count the ml of sample in negative tube, and for positive report you have already reported your result, and on that basis you can count the MPN of that particular water sample for 100 ml. So that if you observe 100 or 20, what your result you can obtain, you can say that number of organisms are present in that particular 100 ml of water sample. There is nothing but a MPN index Hoskin table which are given by Hoskin in 1933 to 34 are available by using MPN can be obtained directly. Here it is nothing but a water sample, number of tube giving positive reaction out of 5. Here we have taken 5 sets of 15 tube. So in case in our sample how tests are given positive, we have to find if one tube is you can find one tube is positive, here 0 tube is positive, and here you can find one test is positive. On the basis of MPN index per 100 ml, you can consider as a test index is you consider here. Number of tube giving positive report, on the basis of that 1 to 5 or 0 to 5 you can use. If all the 15 tube gives positive result, that means that we can count 5, 5, 5, and your MPN count is nothing but 600 number of organisms per 100 ml of water sample. So by using that particular table or MPN table, you can directly count or state that it's nothing but a MPN index of that particular water sample. So it is nothing but a most effective and reliable method for the determining the water quality of drinking water. It is normally used in routine practice for determining the sanitary quality of drinking water. So here only the procedure is lengthy. That's why sometimes false positive result can observe, or proper precautions should be taken to avoid external source of contamination.